All right, we are recording. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Coffee. I do apologize for this not being a live stream via Facebook for whatever reason. Once again, I was having technical difficulties, but I'm super excited to have our current guest on the show today, Miss Eden Robbins, and she is the founder of A Wholehearted ME. She's actually going to tell you more about herself, her bio, and who she is as a person, more about A Wholehearted ME and where she can be reached. When I upload this to my YouTube channel or any of my social media outlets, I will also provide her contact information as well. Let's see, I met Eden, and if I'm right, I wanted to do this as naturally as possible. I believe I met her through someone in the leadership no, it was actually a different leadership program. Now that I talk about it, I was gonna say She Leads, but I think it was the one for women who were released from prison, right?
Yep, it sure
Yes.
was. Yes.
Yeah, I was like, actually, it was a different one. It was it's either She Leads or it's that one. So
Yeah.
it was, I can't recall the name of the program, and that's okay, because I don't know if you can say it or not, but we were both in a program helping mentor women who were recently released from prison. But I think I met you through someone and not directly. I don't think we were at the meetings at the same time. And I don't know, you can correct my memory if I'm wrong.
No, you're right. You're right.
All right, Eden, so let us know more about you and A Wholehearted ME.
All right. Yes. Well, thank you for having me. First of all, I really appreciate you inviting me here for morning coffee, and I have my coffee. So, all set. So I founded A Wholehearted ME, and basically, A Wholehearted ME is all about what it means to tend to myself, to understand myself, really. I think that's what it comes down to, and how understanding myself affects who I am in the world, how I am in the world, and also how I can contribute to the world and to those people I care about and those causes and things that I care about. And I started sort of exploring that concept of, the correlation between those two things, how I am in the world and my concept of myself. And I realized that it sounds like such a simple concept. Well, of course, who I am will affect how I am in the world. And yet I had a very strong disconnect with myself for an extremely long time. And I believe it was only through my divorce that I started, instead of focusing on the other, focusing on me. And that was life-changing for me. So that kind of was a catalyst. I hadn't started Wholehearted ME when I had gotten divorced, but it was a catalyst that eventually led me through this sort of 15-year process of trying to figure myself out, and eventually led to me founding A Wholehearted ME, and inviting other women to explore the same thing. So that kind of brought me to today, I guess. Yeah.
That is really awesome. I like that. The concept of knowing like who you are and how you show up in the world and things like that. And so that's A Wholehearted ME. Obviously, if you want to elaborate on that, you definitely can. But I also want you to, if you don't mind, sharing a little bit about your newer endeavors with us and what you're doing, because I know it's not necessarily new because it's something you've been doing for years, but how'd you end up going back on that path? And then, of course, at some moment during this recording, you'll let us know what the words healthy, heal, and home mean to you. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I've been a writer, a creatress. I like that word. I've decided I'm going to adopt that word. I'm a creatress, and that yeah, I like it. I've been writing for over 20 years. Formally, I've always written. As a kid, I wrote for the school newspaper, journal, things like that. I've always written in some way in my life, and love writing. And I also have written romance novels. I've had 9 of my novels published, and then basically during my divorce and after, there was sort of a disruption in that, and I really believe it has a lot to do with me deciding to change patterns in my life and who I was, and how that became a main focus for me. And so I got away from my formal writing and getting books published for a long period of time as I explored that and got back to me. And then I started writing again. I got back into it about 5 years ago. I just kind of was inspired to start writing again, and it was wonderful experience, because I felt like I'm a different person now. Like I'm putting more into it. I'm putting different things into it. I felt like a deeper person, I guess, and that I could maybe contribute more to my writing in that way. So I'm really thankful for that. And then recently, that sort of kind of spun out into something else. I had a friend who was starting a coaching business, and she has known me for a long time. And she said, listen, I know you can write. Would you be interested in writing some copy for me for my business? And so I got kind of excited about that and thought, well, let me give it a try. You know, I have, in addition to my writing, my novel writing, my fiction writing, I also have spent about 10 years as a certified project manager, managing marketing and communication projects. So I was very familiar with copy and marketing and that sort of thing. So I dove into that with her, and wow, it was amazing. I love the flow of it. I love the feel of it. And I'm having fun with it. That's the biggest thing. So that's kind of where I'm at with that right now. And yeah, I just love it. I love writing copy. I love creating connections with people. And that's what copywriting is sort of writing in a way that connects with people's thoughts and feelings. And so I'm loving that, enjoying that so much. And I'm also kind of exploring the whole creativity, creatress kind of part of this too, because in a way, you know, it's all writing, but very two different paths of writing, my fiction writing and my copywriting. And then I'm looking now at, well, how does creativity affect our lives? So I've started sort of another project related to that in terms of creativity for healing and for growing and for living, because we're all creators in different ways, and that affects how we live our lives and the choices that we make. And so that's been another offshoot of this that I'm exploring and really writing about as well for myself. So yeah, so a lot going on with writing, and I'm super happy about it.
I think that's amazing. Good for you. I'm looking forward to reading your work and your material and things like that. And it's great because I feel like you went back to your love after, you know, circling, you circled back to it. So that's amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. So we'll all have all of Eden's information, how you guys can reach her to know more about A Wholehearted ME or her writing company. What's the name of your writing company?
My Superpower Copywriting.
My Superpower Copywriting. So I'll give you that information to that. In those 9 novels, like that, we can't forget that we heard that. That's amazing. You wrote those 9 novels. So you guys will have access to all of that information, so you can learn more about Eden and support her businesses and purchase a novel.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And okay, so go ahead whenever you're ready. You can let us know what the words healthy, healed, and whole mean to you.
Yeah, I appreciate you asking this question. So part of my journey after my divorce eventually led me to a 12-step recovery program, and for codependency. That was sort of what I realized that I needed to work on in myself. And again, codependency is about focusing on others and not paying attention to what is healthy for me, or what is whole for me, or what is healing for me. And then hurting myself in the process. And that involves not having boundaries, you know, putting others before myself, things like that. So that really was a path that helped me move forward in my life as well. It really was pivotal. And I've been part of that program for about 7 years now. And it really changed my life. And what it really, the recovery process for me, the 12-step process, helped me think about exactly what you're talking about, the idea of being healthy, healed, and whole. And to me, those 3 concepts are actually cyclical for me, and they affect different areas of my life at different times as I continue to grow. And what I mean by that is, for instance, the word healthy to me is about awareness. So being healthy is being aware of the dysfunction or disease in my life and understanding that that's not okay for me, that there's something not right. Because, prior to my divorce and my recovery process, I didn't really have a strong concept about the dysfunction in my life. There wasn't really an awareness. There were sort of blinders on, I guess. And so to me, healthy is about, let's take the blinders off, which can be very painful sometimes. But understanding that there's something that's not right. And I really, if I want to be healthy and live an authentic, full, wholehearted life, like I have to be aware of that. And that's one part of the cycle. And then the next for me is the healing part. And that is more about behavior and action. So, okay, I have an awareness now, like something's not healthy, something's dysfunctional. What can I do differently now in my life? What can I choose to do to be healthy? What can I choose to do to get healing? So it's a behavior and action sort of part of this. And then for me, being wholehearted, being whole, which is going to be for an evolution all my life for me, I believe, ongoing, is the idea of acceptance, trust, and surrender. So wholeness comes in trusting the healthy behavior that I'm learning, trusting my knowing, and trusting, just again, the idea that I can choose different behaviors, and then leaning on that trust, having sort of this toolkit that I can lean on and understand that I can choose to be healthy, I can choose to be healed, and I can choose to live my life wholehearted and whole. So that happens in different ways in my life because I'm always growing, I'm always encountering things, I'm always running up against a wall where I realize, wait, this isn't healthy. What can I do differently? And then learning and reprogramming, these patterns and these stories that have been part of my life in an unhealthy way for so long. So it just is a continual process for me, those three words as part of a cycle, I guess.
That's beautiful. Yeah, you can definitely tell you're right because you articulated yourself so well. Thank you so much for that. I was over here taking notes. So when you mentioned health, you said taking off the blinders and that awareness piece. You're so right. It can be painful. And then the healing is actually the behaviors and the actions, because I think that's something that we often overlook. We have all these tools, but we don't use them or change them. Maybe we don't even realize that we're not using them. We think, I went to the seminar, I heard these great things, now my life is going to change, not realizing that you actually have to do things. You have to put steps in place. And then lastly, you talked about the whole part of it, and you said it's an evolution. And for you, that's acceptance, trust, and surrender. So that was also really nice. And you, I think you said something to you said something about you see it and then you realize, like, I want to do something different. I think for me, sometimes when I see it, I see myself maybe doing something I know I don't want to do. I want to look different. It's sometimes shame and guilt. I should say shame, because guilt is a little different, but shame will keep me continuously doing the same thing because I don't want to admit that you need to change. Because if I say change, then I feel like something's wrong with me, and I don't want anything to be wrong with me. So I continue the cycle because of that. So I've noticed that sometimes that happens.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So true. And you're right. And like you said, it can be painful because, realizing the dysfunction in my life and in me, it takes really a conscious decision and intention to say, okay, yeah, I'm making, mistakes, or I'm being unhealthy. It doesn't make me a horrible person. It doesn't make me less than. I'm aware of it. I'm learning from it. I can act differently. Like, that's what really it's about. It's not about bad or good. It's not about perfect or imperfect, right?
Absolutely.
So
thank you so much. This was beautiful. I can't wait to get this uploaded so that people can see it. you know, I guess everything happens for a reason. But I'm like, I really wanted this to be live because I think it would have really helped some people this morning as they were preparing to go to work or getting their days started. But that's okay. I'm going to try to get it up as within the next couple of minutes when we get off the Zoom meeting. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add to this?
Think about that. I don't think so. I think that you and I need to go trail running sometime soon.
Well, you know, it's so funny. I was just thinking about trail running because I did a South Mountain hike, and there's some, like, the Mormon Trail, a 24th Street entrance. I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
No.
There's maybe, like, I don't know, 2 minutes of a kind of where you can run, you know, because you're not going up. There's not too many rocks. And I was like, really want to go trail running. So yeah, I guess it's destiny, because I was just thinking this yesterday. I was on that trail and I kind of like jogged that little piece, but it's not enough to really have an effect. It's just a little stretch.
Just a little strip. Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you running at?
Well, you know, I'm right off the preserve where I'm at, and there's an area that has a lot of running. It's not completely flat, but it actually is enough that I can do it. And there are some hills, and I've just created a loop for myself that works really, really well. And sometimes I challenge myself more and try to do more uphill, but mainly it's kind of more gradual slopes, and it works very well. So I'd love to have you out, and we could do it one morning or something like that when you have time.
We'll set something up. This is my summer, so I'll have more time on my hands, so we can do that. We'll reach out to you and make sure we get that done.
All right.
Well, thank you so much. And I'm going to stop recording 1 second.
Okay. Thank you.
Stop